Okay, let's see the practical application we are going to develop now. Let's run this and see the final outcome. So let's run this on a iPhone, right? See in the iPhone, because the red color label is installed only in width regular, height regular, you will not see it on an iPhone. So that's what it's not getting installed in the final deployed app. In the final deployed app to the App Store, you will not see that label because you have installed it only for certain, right? See, and the width is smaller font size, smaller gap. Whereas in the iPad, right, it will have a larger font size, right, and extra labels and different colors and different leading and trailing spaces, right? So this is also adaptivity, guys. So your app is getting adapted according to the environment. So the app is getting adapted according to the trait, right? App is get adapted according to trait variations, right? So this is all coming under adaptive user interfaces, guys. Okay, so let's continue to develop this application now. So it's working, right? Now what I want to do is this one. Use the attribute inspector to add customization based on size classes. What does that mean? So that is one way of doing customizations, the first way of, right? So what you do is, if you look into your view, let's say you go into the view, right? And if you see, now you have added a auto layout, right? When you click on it, right, from this design canvas, when you click on it, you see this is what it says, right? So using the attribute inspector, right? So it says in the attribute inspector there's a plus button, meaning the particular attribute can be customized using the trait collection system. So plus button mean you can customize it using. So yes. So when I click this, right, when I click the view and when I click this, can you see there's a plus button here? Look at my mouse, right? So there's a plus button, right? So if I click this, so which means I can customize, right? So now actually I want it to be 30. I want it to be 30 for the iPhone, but I want it to change into, say, I want it to change in iPad, right? Of course I can change from here, but I'm going to show you something. You can change it, but just to show you now, if you want to change it into iPad, what you do is you just select the iPad, right? Let us say you just select the iPad, right? Okay, you select the iPad, let us say this one, right? You just select the iPad, and the moment you select the iPad, see in the device configuration bar here, if you look at my mouse, it says width regular, height regular. Now this is a combination of a size class. But once again, if I click this device and if I go to the iPhone, right, in the iPhone, if you look at there, it will take a little while. See, if you can see, look at my mouse. Width constraint, WC, you may not see it, it's WCHR. WC means width constraint, height regular. So this is that size class combination. This is the device configuration for iPhone. What is the device configuration? Width constraint, height regular. But for the iPad, if you look here, it will change. It's width regular, height regular. That means you want this to change for width regular and height regular. You want this size, this gap to change. So what you can do is you can go to the iPad, then you can click on this constraint, and now in the size inspector, if you click the plus, the size inspector has figured out that you are going to do a customization. And because you are currently in a width regular, height regular device, it automatically gives you that default option of customizing it for width regular and height regular, right? And you will say add variation. The moment you say add variation, see it added a new field here telling width regular, height regular. For that, now you apply what your designer says. Let us say if your designer says 150 or let's say 100, you apply that. So this is what you call as using the attribute inspector for doing customization, right? So you enter. Now that gives you a width of a space of 100. Then what you do is you will again say you will click on the view, right? You will click on the view and then you will click on the next, let us say you will click on the next constraint, and once again you will click add customization for this and regular height regular, add variation, and you will put a variation of say 100, right? So what you did is you add a customization, right, for width regular and height regular. Now the beauty of the device configuration bar is you don't have to run to see that it's in action, because this device configuration bar, when you select a device, this design canvas gives you pixel perfect rendering, right? It gives you pixel, so which means when you go for your iPhone, right, the canvas shows that its iPhone does not change. So for the iPhone it's 30, it's a regular one. You change to 100 only for width regular and height regular. So the canvas, design canvas, tells you even without you running that your what you did is in action, right? So if you go for an iPad, say 9.7, it's 100 the gap, right? Now if this is not enough, then what you do is you just select this and you increase it, like this particular constant, so the trailing constant, and once again you click the leading one and you put whatever the, see if the designer says put 150. Awesome. And if you go and check in the device configuration bar, if you go and check your iPhone, it's not affecting the iPhone. So this is what we call as customization. Now this is what we call advanced auto layout, right? So this is the last choice you do out of the three. First one was what? Auto layout without constraints, stack view. Then the second one, simple auto layout. Then the third one is this. But now you can run and see this even, right? So if you run this, you will see that it will not affect. This customization is only for the device family with regular and height regular. So the customization was done for the trait collection coming under with regular height regular, right? For that trait collection, right? Not for this. What is this iPhone? What is this? What is the size class combination for this? For this it's width constraint and height regular. So WCHR. WCHR means width constraint, height regular. So your customization was not for WCHR. Your customization was for WRHR, meaning width regular, height regular, which means for iPads. So if you run this on iPad, you will see, when you run this, you will see that that will have a larger gap from the two sides. See, it is having a larger gap. Still, if you are not sure, just once again, now you can be on the iPad or iPhone, doesn't matter. You just click on the view, you just click on the constraint, you can see the customization. So okay, if this is not enough, you put some extra, right? Let us say 200, right? And then you click here. Doesn't matter now whether you are in the iPad or iPhone, because you have added that customization. So now it's telling you clearly it's for width regular, height regular. So doesn't matter where you are when you change it now, right? Doesn't matter where you are when you change it. It applies for that particular trait collection, the width regular and height regular, right? Awesome. So if you run this now on your iPad, right, you should see that the iPad should have a much more wider space from the two sides, my friends, right? Awesome guys, can you see? But if you run this on the iPhone, you will not see that gap, because you added a customization, guys, only for width regular and height regular, not for width constraint and height regular, right? Awesome, because your iPhone comes under width constraint and height regular. It doesn't come under width regular, height regular. So guys, you all are learning a lot. So when you add customizations, we just did the first option, right? So using attribute inspector, we did that based on size classes. So what we did is based on size classes. So what is a size class? Width regular, height regular. That is what we did the customization, right? Okay, awesome. Then you have the second option to do a more surgical edit using the device configuration bar. changing a auto layout constraint using vary for traits option. Let's see how to do this, right? Using the device configuration bar, you can, that's another option, right? Okay, so let's do a more surgical edit, right? So let's go to so once again read it, customizations, doing a more surgical edit using device configuration bar, right? So changing auto layout constraint using vary for traits option, right? So what is that? So what's that? What does that mean, right? Let's see, let's do something like this, right? So let's say that this gap, right? Let's talk about this gap. Now let us say, okay, let us run this. So on a iPhone, okay, if I run this, right? If I run this, my friends, okay, so okay, on an iPhone, let us say there's a gap here between this label and the stack view, right? And let's just remember this gap. Let's run this on the iPad, right? Let's run this on the iPad and see the gap. It's the same because the constraint is a fixed value we have put, right? But let us say your designer has said, ask you to keep a extra space here, right? Let us say he is asking you to keep a extra space. Sorry, he's asking to keep a extra space here, right? Now what is this space? So that space is, if you click here, there's a constraint, right? This constraint, right? So that constraint is a constant of a constant value of 50, right? It's a constant value of, so it's irrespective of iPhone or iPad, it's always a constant value of 50. But you can change this because your designer was asking you to have a larger size. Let us say a value of 150. Let's think like that, a value of 150, right? Let's say value of 150. And also I want to show you one more thing. Let me think which one to be done first. So before I do that, I will do another thing. I will do another one using this. Let's do one more change using the attribute inspector, right? One more change, guys, right? One more change. So let's say let me click on the label, right? And let us say your designer says that he want a larger font size for the iPad for this particular label, right? Say he want a larger font size for this particular label for the iPad. So then what you do is you go for iPad, right? Because it's easy for you, because then you can see it on the pixel perfect. And so width regular, height regular, and then you select on the label, right? And if you look here, same, the plus button. So I'm doing an example for this one, right? Once again, another example for using attribute inspector to add customization, right? That's what I'm doing, a second example, right? So now see the font, there's a plus. Now you know it means you can vary, add variation, right? For width regular, height regular, right? So you add, now you will get width regular, height regular, which means now you are going to do a if you change something, it applies only for width regular and height regular, right? So let us say it's a larger font size, right? Let us say of 50, right? Let us say a larger font size of 50, right? Done, right? But it applies only for width regular, height regular. So if I run this on a, you can also see it on the device configuration. If you go to the iPhone, you will not see that change on the iPhone, right? See, you will not see that change on iPhone. Because why? These iPhones comes under with constraint height regular. But the change you did was for width regular and height regular. So if you even run this, you will see on an iPad, you will now get the larger font size, right? So this is adding customization using attribute inspector. See, it's a larger font on the iPad, but if you run this on the iPhone, it's the standard font whatever you had it, right? So this is what you call as customization, right? Awesome, right? Now we did two examples. Now let's go and do one example using the second option, doing a more surgical edit using device configuration bar, right? using vary for traits. So what does that mean is, let us say I want a large now I want a larger gap between this label, and let's run this on the iPad and show it to you. So okay, now you saw the output of the iPhone, right? So there's this gap, right? But if I run this on the iPad, right, let us say your designer wants to have a larger gap, right? Let us say your designer wants to have a larger gap. See, he say he wants a larger gap between the label and the style. So how do you do, right? Of course you can do it using you can just let us say click you can easy if you go to the iPad, because that is what you are doing the change, but it's not compulsory for you to go, right? And then easy for you to click on this and then click on the constraint, and obviously you can add a variation, right? Obvious, right? You can add a way. I'm showing another way now, that is using the device without adding it from here. If you want, you can go click this, you can go to the device configuration bar, and you can say, see this button, vary for traits. Now, so this is the second way of doing it. So when you click vary for traits, it's asking, okay, it's giving us two checkboxes. So if you tick both of them, what you are telling is you want to apply a variation to both width regular and height regular, because now you are in a device having a configuration of width regular and height regular, right? So because you are in a device with the width regular, height regular, if you tick both of them, that means you are telling whatever the change you are going to do now should apply for all the devices with width regular and height regular, right? How many devices it will get affected? It's 42 devices. And if you click, you can click here and see these are all the devices that this change will apply, right? It's mostly iPads, right? It's mostly the iPads available, right? So for all these iPads, right, for all these iPads it will apply, because all these iPads comes under width regular and height regular. But there are no iPhones here, because I selected the vary for traits for width regular and height regular, so there's no iPhone. But let me show you something. Now if I just click if I say done, I didn't do anything, so I'm just telling done, nothing, I didn't do anything, right? But while I'm on the iPad, once again if I say vary for traits, but this time if I say okay, if I tick only one of them, let us say let me say okay, regular height, right? So I'm telling regular height, right? So if I say regular height, what does that mean? It means, right, now earlier it was only 40 odd devices, but can you see how many devices are here? 98. Because I am telling whatever this customization I'm going to do applies only mainly for or only for regular height, but any width. Why any width? Because I didn't tick it. So now the customization applies for regular any device with regular height, but and any width. So the width can be either regular width or constraint width, right? It can be anything because I didn't tick that, right? So if I click here, you should see devices with let me do it again once again. Now once again I cancelled it, and it's with regular height regular. So I'm telling vary for traits. Okay, I'm ticking this. What does that mean? All the devices with regular height, but definitely regular height, but width can be anything. Width can be either regular or constraint. So now if I look at what devices this will affect, right? So all the devices with regular height, right? All the devices with regular height, but some iPhones are here. Why? Because these iPhones comes under regular height, but I did not check the width. So the width can be either regular width or constraint width. So if I do any change, it will apply for these iPhones as well. So if you find it difficult to understand what I said, again go back few minutes in this video clip and listen to what I said again couple of times, right? Listen to what I said 2-3 times again and again, then you will understand, right? But let us say I don't want to apply it for that. Let us say I want to apply only for the size class regular width and regular height. Just in example, right? Just assume that I want to apply for only for regular width and regular height, right? Just assume, right? In that case, what I have to do is I have to go to iPad, right? And then say vary for traits and tick both of them. When I tick both of them, it's only 42 devices with regular width and regular height, and whatever I'm doing now will apply only for those with regular width and regular height. So if you click here, those are all with regular width and regular height. Okay, now I can do the change. Okay, let us say the change I want to do is now when this bar is blue, that means I'm doing something only for that selection I have made, right? So I have to first, now I have to do the change and click done varying, right? So first I have to do the change now, right? So what change do I want? As I said, the gap between the label and the stack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the view. See, this is still blue, which means whatever I'm doing applies only for that now, right? And then I'm going to click on this the gap, right, between the label and this, and let us say I'm going to do a change, right? So let us say now what I have to do is just double click on this, right? What I have to do is make sure I double click, right? So when I double click on this, right, I have to double click, then it gives the current value. But when I put 100, the system knows that this 100 should apply only for that variation I have selected, right? So if I put 100, or let us say 150, right, for example, right, if I put 150 and if I say enter, right, enter, now it makes a gap of 150, right? It made a gap of 150, right? It made a gap of 150. And now if I say done varying, this applies only for that selection. That means width regular and height regular, right? So if I say done varying now, what will happen is it will add a variation only for width regular and height regular. So you can see it now. If you click this, and if you click this, if you click on this constraint, can you see it has automatically added this? I didn't add this, it automatically added width regular, height regular. So that 150 applies only for width regular and height regular. So that what I did now is known as doing a more surgical edit using device configuration bar, right? So changing auto layout constraint using vary for traits option. So vary for traits option is this one, right? What I did now, right? So using this device configuration bar. Okay guys, right? Awesome. So you did you are learning a lot of things. You are learning a lot of things, right? So it was a more surgical edit, and it's not applied for iPhone, right? So if you go for iPhone, what you did is not applied for iPhone, right? So see, if iPhone, it's the same, but for iPad, you can see it from here now. If you run as well, okay guys, so if you run it, the change you did, the more surgical edit will not apply for the iPhone because you did it for width regular and height regular size class combination, right? See, it's not applied for a iPhone. But if you run this on iPad, guys, if you run this on iPad, you will see that it has applied for iPad. See, there's a much wider gap, right? Just in case if you're a designer, so if the gap looks too much, maybe it's not 150, maybe you put 100, right? It depends on what the designer says, right? But now we are learning this advanced auto layout, right? Okay, so that is a more surgical edit using device configuration bar, right? So if I move forward,